So I know Jurassic World Dominion has been out for over a week now, and I had meant to do this video a little sooner, but in today's video, I'm going to be going over the top 10 dinosaurs in Jurassic World Dominion, at least my top 10 favorite dinosaurs from the movie. So starting this out, I have 10 dinosaurs, my top 10 favorite from the movie. I'm going to be starting from 10, going from my least favorite to my favorite, at least just in this movie. I do want to give a spoiler warning also for anyone who has not seen the movie. There's going to be a bunch of spoilers for the movie, so please, if you haven't seen the movie yet, please click off now, watch the movie, and then come back. So at 10 is going to be Rexy, which is very surprising because Rexy is one of my favorite dinosaurs in all of these movies, a fan favorite, but this is just based off this movie in general. And we don't see a lot from Rexy in this movie. It's probably one of the least focused on dinosaurs, but still has really cool scenes. Has a few appearances, is getting dominated by the Giganotosaurus a lot in this movie because it's the new top apex predator. But nonetheless, Rexy has cool scenes throughout this movie. Has a really cool scene at the end of the movie, but is overall not really focused on that much in this movie. At 9, also surprising, is Blue. And I put Blue and Beta, Blue's baby, in the same category because they are so closely linked. And Blue is not in this movie that much at all. You see her at the beginning and then at the very end. But it is cool, as we mentioned in our spoilers discussion, to see the character development between these characters. She has really cool scenes in the beginning when Beta actually gets taken. To see the character development from the first Jurassic World to this one and see how it changes after her baby's taken with Owen is very interesting, and Blue is at number 9. At number 8 is the Parasaurolophus, because surprisingly enough, this was one of the cooler scenes. Seeing Owen actually chasing the Parasaurolophus herd with the horse, seeing him actually use the lasso to get the Parasaurolophus captured, was a really cool scene. One of the more well-done scenes in the movie, and it was a cool way to kind of make you sympathize with the dinosaurs, because obviously the Parasaurolophus is not a carnivore. It's shown to be very similar to a horse, because you see them riding together in the end. The way it moves, the way it lives and interacts with people is very similar to horses as they show in this movie. Now at number 7 is the Pseudoceratops, and has very brief scenes, but one of the cooler scenes in my opinion. When Claire is saving one of the baby ceratops from the cages, you see the Pseudoceratops come in and truck over one of the cars. Is a very cool scene. You see Claire purposely drive into a herd of them. They end up knocking the cars over of the poachers, and it was a very cool scene for sure. Now at number 6 is the Pyroraptor, which is the feathered kind of velociraptor dinosaur, and had really cool scenes. I remembered seeing this from the trailer and being excited for this one, and it definitely delivered. The way that he's able to go under the ice, swim around, come back out of the ice, have a cool slow motion shot, and it was a very creepy one. Nonetheless, it was creepy to see him kind of appear behind the rocks, and the overall, that whole ice scene was very well done, and that's why the Pyroraptor is at number 6. Now at number 5 is the Dilophosaurus, because the Dilophosaurus is a dinosaur we hadn't seen since the Jurassic Park movie. You see a hologram of him in the original Jurassic World, but it was very cool to see the Dilophosaurus come back. You see some cool animatronics used, and you see a lot of different ones popping up around. Big spoiler, as I mentioned, you see the Dilophosaurus actually take out Dotson at the end, and is very reminiscent of the Dilophosaurus taking out Nedry in the original Jurassic Park, and that was obviously a callback to that. And the Dilophosaurus has had a lot of cool scenes, had a lot of cool appearances. Now at number 4 is the Quetzalcoatlus, and if I'm missing the name, I apologize. And this is the giant bird pterodactyl that was really cool, and I remember even as a kid going to certain museums and seeing a giant skeleton of this particular dinosaur. And this is a really cool one, and is really put into perspective if these dinosaurs were actually on Earth, how much of a problem this would be. Because how big it is, but it has a really cool scene where you see its shadow fly over the plane, and it lands on the plane, rips it apart, and is a really, really exciting scene, and is no doubt one of the cooler dinosaurs, a new dinosaur at least, and has one of the cooler scenes in this movie, and that's why the Quetzalcoatlus is at number 4 on this list. Now at number 3 is the Atrociraptors, which their appearance was just really awesome. Seeing them come out of the cage, they're just these massive, oversized raptors that the overall visual effects on them are just top notch, and seeing their actual face walking out of the cages was just so amazing. Just seeing them appear out of the cages is one of the most exciting scenes in the movie, and then the actual chase with Owen was really fun, and seeing them chasing the target, getting the locked on the scent, and chasing down Owen through the really exciting scene through the city was one of the best scenes, and the Atrociraptors just looked amazing. I really hope we get to see more of those. Like I said in the spoilers discussion, it reminds me of the video games with certain scenes of them, and I'm glad we were able to see the Atrociraptors. They're such cool dinosaurs, and they easily deserve the number 3 spot on this list. Now, number 2 is the Pyroraptor, which is the kind of bird-type sloth creature, which arguably had the best scene in the movie. These 1 and 2 spot are really close, and it's the scene where Claire used the parachute seat and is stuck in the tree. You see this creature move through the woods, and in this movie, this creature is blind. Now, if I ever do matchups with this one, it's not going to be blind, because the actual species wasn't. It was just this one that was created by Biosyn, and this creature is amazing. It's a giant creature with these long claws, just sounds really scary and intimidating, and is such an interesting, different, unique dinosaur. And that scene in particular in the middle of the woods was one of the best scenes in the movie. A lot of people think it was the best scene, but seeing it crawling around, looking for Claire, looking over the water, and then growling in the water was amazing. And then the end scene, facing off with the Giganotosaurus, it was a really cool scene as well, seeing him team up with Rexy. The Pseudoceratops is at number 2 on my list, and definitely deserves it. It was really close to the number 1 spot. A really, really cool, unique dinosaur in Jurassic World. And at number 1, as you can probably guess, is the Giganotosaurus. I call it the Giganosaurus. And I know certain people were disappointed in this dinosaur, but I just think this dinosaur is amazing. The overall size is awesome. It's very similar to the Indominus, but it has enough differences about it to make it very unique. The Giganotosaurus, the way he walks around, the way his tail kind of drags on the ground sometimes, is really cool and kind of reminiscent of Godzilla, so I love that. And the growl of the Giganotosaurus just shows that he's bigger and badder. And I'm really interested to see, he obviously beats the T-Rex a couple times in this movie. You see in the prologue, he kills the T-Rex, so he's a very tough one. I would be interested to see how he would do against a creature like the Indominus or Spinosaurus. I've seen some recommendations, but the Giganotosaurus was the big one teased in the movies, and he did not disappoint in my opinion. The visuals were great, the animatronic was great, and I just loved this dinosaur, and he definitely deserves the number 1 spot on this list. He was my favorite dinosaur in Jurassic World Dominion. But let me know down below who your top 10 dinosaurs were in Jurassic World Dominion. Remember, this is just Jurassic World Dominion, just this 3rd movie, because obviously ranking these dinosaurs throughout all the movies, you know who would be at the top. It'd be a lot different. But nonetheless, this is really fun to make. So many cool new dinosaurs. I know there's some that I didn't have on this list, and like the Dimetrodon, the Carnotaurus. There's so many in this movie, it was hard to even break it down to 10. But make sure you let me know down below who your favorite dinosaur was, and what your list is. And thanks for watching.